Welcome to a nutty adventure exploring personal growth and wellness, breaking down the stigma around mental health along the way. Let's dive in because now it's time to show me your nuts.
Hello, my ambitious leaders and squirrels and peeps. Welcome to Show Me Your Nuts, a show where we crack through things, not just cope. And sometimes we crack through the shadows behind us, and sometimes they're just there. So I am your host, Stacy Braiuca, otherwise known as the Squirrel Wrangler, and I am so thrilled to have you here on this show, on this Thursday for the Breakthrough Show Network. Now, in full transparency, I will be doing some rest and family time this week. So this particular episode you're watching, yeah, it's a pre-record. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to take care of yourself, but still get the information out to the public. So I am resting while you're watching this. I might even be watching this while you're watching this. But even though I am not live in the studio, I am with you in spirit, and I want you dropping your comments and ahas below because I might actually be dropping some comments and such watching my own self. A little bit meta, right? So today we're kicking off the next cycle. Can you believe there have been 4 cycles in the year so far? And each of the cycles on Show Me Your Nuts this year are 6 weeks long. So we are breaking through. We just did a breakthrough cycle with the last cycle. And the next cycle, cycle 4, is expansion. So we've done, let me think on what our cycles. We have done the first cycle, the first 6 weeks was desire to change. And that was the awakening cycle. Then we had the foundation cycle where we had to figure out whether we were taking responsibility for our own shit. The third cycle was breakthrough cycle, where it's kind of the times that everything shifts, those moments that things shift. And if you were watching on May 7th and see the show with Dr. Lisa Light, or we talked about how her story was born, there were some mic drops. Oh my God, go back and watch that. I'm telling you, it was brilliant. Today we're starting with expansion and the theme of growing out of our comfort zones and expanding into new places. Because after you break through, after you have that breakthrough moment and you figure out, you get rid of old stuff, you've got space. Because if you just cleaned house and gotten rid of all the old stuff in here, there's space in there for new stuff, and you can expand easier without feeling like you're getting ready to pop. Now, you might feel like you're getting ready to pop because you're so excited, but you're not feeling like you're getting ready to pop because you're stuffed and full and feeling icky. So in this expansion cycle, we're going to go through these next 6 weeks and talk about setting new goals. We're going to talk about expanding. Today, we're going to talk about expanding your relationship with technology. Then next week, it'll be expanding your emotional capacity. And then expanding your resource toolkit, and then expanding your tech skills and your confidence. then expanding sustainable practices. And then we get to the anniversary of this show, which will be June 18th, where I'll have a couple of special guests and we're going to talk about stories of expansion and growth. So I look forward to having everybody on this next 6-week journey. So today, specifically, we're going to talk about expanding your relationship with technology. So if you are a high-achieving leader who wakes up to anxiety spirals, because, life lives, and you wake up to anxiety spirals because your phone and your calendar and all the things that are connected to the tech, T-E-C-H, or the text, T-E-X-T-X, T-E-X, yeah, T-E-X, T-E-X-T-S. All the things connected to that are dictating your life. Yeah, this episode's for you. We're going to break down and look at breaking free from that tech-induced stress and laying down a solid technology and mental wellness foundation. But first, because it's Thursday and it's Show Me Your Nuts, let's do some How Charged Are Your Nuts? So, how charged are your nuts? Before we dive in, I want you to check on your nervous system. So basically, close your eyes as I ask this question and check in with your gut, with your unconscious mind, with your inner self, whatever you call that inner voice that talks to you about those things. And I'm not speaking of things talking to you in a hallucinatory sense, but our gut talks to us. So let's do an energy check. On a scale of 1 acorn, which is totally grounded and at peace, that goose fraba squirrel, 1 acorn, totally grounded, to 10 squirrels, because you're ready to throw your laptop out of the window into the traffic. How much tech-induced stress are you feeling today? Drop your number in the comments. So on a scale of 1 acorn, which is you're totally grounded and at peace, to 10 squirrels, 10 screaming tech squirrels of I am getting ready to throw this thing out, bash it with a hammer, and throw it into the street. How much tech-induced stress are you feeling today? Now, even though I'm pre-recorded, I want to see where you're at. I want to see what are you feeling today? I want to be able to engage with you in those comments because, like I said, I might be watching. I want to see where you're at. Acknowledge it. Feel it. Feel the feels, whatever they are. If you're an 8, that's okay. Just sink into that and feel it for a minute. Even if it feels scary, even if it feels good, I'm going to count to 10 and everybody just stay with those feels for a minute. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold on to it, feel it, and then we're going to wrangle those squirrels today and see if we can let that number go by the end of the show. So let's find another nut to crack. And this week's nut comes in from an ambitious entrepreneur in our community who messaged me and said, Stacy, I feel like my business runs me. Every time my phone dings, my chest just tightens. I want to expand my business, But I'm terrified that more success means more freaking tech. And more tech brings me more panic attacks. How many in the audience feel that way? How many feel that if the phone rings, your chest just tightens? If something dings and you can't tell where the music is coming in the next tab, and you've got so many tabs open you can't even remember where you started. Tell me. And when you think about making your business even more expansive, you think, oh my God, that's going to mean more tech. And then if there's more tech, oh God, no, no, I don't want to deal with the panic attacks. I can't handle it. Let's just validate that. Because for many people, that is the truth. I know that I'm a lucky person. I'm very lucky because I don't get that same feeling about technology. Don't get me wrong. I too am spiral on all sorts of stuff, and I have panic attacks about things. So I know what those feel like. I have experienced that. It just happens to be in a different area of my life. When I see tech or have a tech problem, I get excited about solving it. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that that is very much not the case with most people I work with. I would say 99.9% of the people I work with. That's obviously not the case. So I want to validate you. I want to say, yes, I see you. I see that stress is real. That spiral at 2 a.m. that you're like, oh my God, I've got to deal with this building a funnel tomorrow and it just scares me. Or, oh, somebody said I need to come on their show and be on StreamYard and I don't know how to do that. And I can't get my camera to work. And oh my God, what if my audio doesn't work? And what if the computer shuts down like it always does? Or, I've got so many tabs open. I need to have them open because I need to figure out what I'm doing, but I don't know what it, and where's that music coming from? I see you. It is information overload and a lot all at once. And I'm here to tell you that intersection, that exact intersection of mental wellness and technology is a large part of what I do for people. When I say got Techxiety, I solve that from the inside out. That's what I mean. Now, what I mean by it is not that I'm going to solve your tech. I'm going to help you solve the nervous system part underneath what's causing the feels. And then we'll work on the tech. So when you have that reaction about technology, it's not because you're broken. You're like 99.9% of people, and you're not broken at all. It's your nervous system responding to a tool that has become a trigger. Now, hear me carefully on that. When I say the tool, and that the tool has become a trigger, not that something's wrong with you or that something's wrong with the tool. It's the tool has become a trigger to your anxiety. And if you don't know what a trigger is, let's back up there for a minute. Just, like my friend saying does, let's break this down. The trigger is similar to when you a trigger happens when it causes that something in our external environment or even our internal environment happens, and then it causes a reaction from us. So our reaction is a reaction to a trigger. A trigger is something that happens, again, inside or outside of us. Classic example of this, and if you ever had high school psychology, hopefully you've had this example and understand. And if not, you got the Googles, right? Go look it up. Pavlov, Pavlov. Pavlov had some dogs, and Pavlov wanted to experiment with these dogs about this behavioral activation of a trigger. And what they did was they would ring a bell and then feed the dog. Ring a bell, feed the dog. Ring a bell, feed the dog. And it was over and over. And it built this thing where the dog associated the bell with food. So that eventually, when the bell went off, they would salivate, even if there wasn't food there. So if you think about your life and think about when X happens, I feel Y. So whatever, X, when one happens, I feel number two, whatever the thing is. It could be when I hear my spouse come home from work, I'm terrified of what mood are they in. Now, that is a true for real trigger for some people, and that happens frequently in abusive scenarios. So when someone, is abusing another person, so it's when the person arrives, I feel this way. And if you have those triggers, please, please, please find some professional help. That's a serious thing. And it's whether it's spousal abuse, family abuse, sexual abuse, anything that's like that. And you know that when this happens, I feel terrified because of it. Those things need help. You need some professional help to work your way through that. So I encourage you, if you're watching and that's the case, this show is not professional advice, but my encouragement to you is to make sure you get some professional help for those things. When your trigger is that the notifications are dinging on every device you have, and the trigger is, oh my God, I just want to throw this thing out the window because I'm done. I can't handle it anymore. The trigger's coming from the device, but the trigger is sometimes the notifications and the number of tabs and the number of things you have going on. And there are some really, really cool ways to deal with those things. So let's dive a little deeper into kind of the nutshell of what Techxiety is. So kind of what we're getting into here is Techxiety. And so what the hell is Techxiety, right? And this is my definition of a word that probably has been said before, but I am staking my coin on it here. What exactly is Techxiety? It is the emotional and cognitive strain that arises at the intersection of mental wellness and technology. It describes the tension you feel when tools that are meant to make your life easier instead trigger anxiety, overwhelm, and self-doubt. Let me go through that one more time. Techxiety is the emotional and cognitive strain that arises at the intersection of mental wellness and technology. It describes that tension and stress and overwhelm and feels that you feel when tools that are meant to make your life easier instead trigger anxiety, overwhelm, or self-doubt. Now, listen to me carefully on this part, because this is probably the most important part of this whole show. Techxiety is not about the tech itself. Techxiety is about how technology interacts with your human nervous system, your beliefs, and your boundaries. And as we talk about expansion this month, we aren't talking about doing more things. We're talking about expanding your relationship with your tech so that we can turn that friction of where the technology interacts with your human nervous system, your beliefs, and your boundaries from friction and where it's causing pain into flow and ease, so that it can help you do more with less time, so that you can spend more time doing human connection using the technology, or self-care for yourself, using the technology or not using the technology, human connection, using the technology or not using the technology. There are lots of fun things you can do with self-care using technology. Lots of fun things you can do with self-care not using technology, for sure. But in this 6 weeks, we want intentional tech behaviors. I want to help you with building some intentional technology behaviors that support your well-being, so you can reclaim your time for those relationships, for that creativity, and for self-care. Now, sometimes in order to have those intentional tech behaviors, you need to use the technology to create relationships that are helpful for your life. You need to use you need to use your creativity in how you use the technology. And you need to, sometimes there are ways to use technology for self-care. For example, is using something like a YouTube self-hypnosis video to go to sleep at night, because that helps with your self-care, or a YouTube meditation video in the middle of the day, and have a playlist of them ready to go at a moment's notice when you're feeling stressed. If you set up the technology so that it serves you, not you feeling like you're having to serve it. Does that take time? Yes. Does it take planning? Yes. But what in life does not? So one kind of hot nut tidbit for you today, pro nut, if you will, is go to your YouTubes, think of the things you want to do, look around, and then take a piece of paper. Yes, I said paper and pencil, which are other forms of technology, by the way, and write down the different categories of things you want to build playlists about. I need a hypnosis playlist for all the different ailments or things that I want to do with my life and that I can listen to at night. I need a set of 3 to 5 minute meditations I can do in the middle of the day when I'm stressed. I need a playlist of amazing music from the 70s and 80s so that I can jam and enjoy my day. I need to create a playlist with my friends. Let's get on a video call and create a playlist together. Let's look at all those songs that we used to love when we were teenagers and put them all in a really cool playlist that we can share with each other when we're feeling stressed. So you have to remember your tomorrow ahead of time. What does that mean exactly? And that's a phrase I use a lot, and it has different meanings. But remembering your tomorrow is thinking ahead, putting yourself into your tomorrow and thinking, what is it I need? What is it I have then that I didn't have today? What is I enjoy then that I'm not sure of now? What is it I'm doing then that I haven't done now? It truly is envisioning your future. And when I say remember your tomorrow, I say that because your unconscious mind does not know the difference between a memory and a envision. When you envision the tomorrow, it thinks it's a memory. And what it does is everything in its power to make whatever it is happen. So if you envision your tomorrow being, I'm not having stress with technology because I created this cool playlist that I can meditate on anytime when I need it. And it's there when I need it. I'm envisioning my tomorrow with technology when I am working on a project and my computer is not going off everywhere, and neither is my phone because I've turned all those damn notifications off. I've turned my email box off. I've turned the phone on do not disturb. I have told everyone I know to leave me alone for an hour so I can focus. I've gone to a co-working session with friends in platforms like Ripley or wherever you hang out, and go to a co-working session with friends where everybody turns their microphones off for an hour, but they're together energetically holding space for each other to focus on whatever they need for 20 minutes. Those spaces are magical, but they involve tech. They're magical because anyone can focus on anything for 20 minutes. And then take a break and socialize. During the break, you play your playlist and do some, chair dancing, or you get up and dance around the room, or you play your meditation and you stop and take a breath. And then you work on it some more. And all the while, your notifications aren't going off because you've got to turn that stuff off. Do we need notifications? Occasionally, yes. They're important for certain things. But it's planning ahead to go, what is it gets in my way? And what is it I need in my future and don't want in my future? And so then envisioning that tomorrow of what does tomorrow look like when I'm not technology stressed? What are the things that are gone where I'm not stressed about the technology? And then spending some planning time to put things in place so that it doesn't bother you. So it's not there. So it's not an issue. And I know that sounds simplified. I hear you when it's like, yeah, but I don't know. And yes. And that's one of the things I work with people, and I get them to other technology people to help them set up their systems so the system runs in the background. You don't have to set it up all the time. One of the coolest things about technology, about computer systems, about CRM systems like Go High Level, about AI, about many things, is the automation it can create for you. I take my inbox in my email to inbox 0 every single morning, usually within 5 minutes. Now, you're like, oh yeah, you must not have very many emails. Well, I have like 7 email addresses coming in one inbox, and each of those gets at least 50 emails a day. Do the math, 350 emails. And I inbox 0 in 5 minutes. Now, how do I do that? Yeah, I've got processes. The processes are both the technology automated processes and the processes I personally do here. I have a system for that. It's called the Squirrel Wrangler method. There's actually going to be a workshop on that. Squirrel Wrangler method live lab on May 19th. If you go to the description in this video, you'll find my event calendar, stacybraiuca.com/events, and you'll see whatever workshops are coming up. You're watching this on May 14th. If you're watching this 6 months from then, there'll still be events there, and there will be events and courses that can teach you that method so you can inbox 0 in 5 minutes. Now, that's not the only thing that happens. And it is a combination between what we use this technology for and what we use this technology for. And you have to not only program this one, but you have to program this one. And by that, I don't just mean learning habits. I don't just mean, mindset. It's a combination of things. And every one of us on this planet is different. You've heard me say that before. You're going to hear me say it again. I know, because I'm going to say it again. 8.4 billion people on the planet, 8.4 different movies playing in our heads, and every single one of them is right. Every single one of them is different. And when I work with individuals, I work with each different one. When I work with individuals that are in a group, we work with everybody's movies all at the same time. Your movie is fine. It's not broken. You're not broken. We just have to figure out, how does your movie work now? How does the movie you want to be, and how to get you from one to the other? And that's absolutely possible. Absolutely. So I'm going to let you guys watch a brief commercial about this amazing network that the show is on. This is the Breakthrough Show Network, and there are some wonderful colleague shows on this network where you can learn more about breakthroughs. You can learn more about astrology and tarot. You can learn more about your own self with Rise and Shine Sundays and the Breakthrough Show and Project Joy and Beyond 2D. And hopefully I'm not forgetting anybody, but I'll see you in a minute.
Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every day for exclusive programming, special events, and a community to call home, where we invite you to explore, change the way you look at and live your life, and go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com.
All righty. So now it's time to break a few myths. We're going to do the Nutcracker. It is time for a Nutcracker, where we smash through mental health and tech myths. So today's tech myth is, if technology is stressing you out, you just need to go do a 30-day digital detox and live in the woods. Does that work? Maybe, for a moment. It's not going to work long term. It's a myth. Just doing a digital detox, going to live in the woods and not touching anything digital for 30 days, is that going to help you feel better? Yes. Is it going to help you with tech stress? Not necessarily. Because the moment you come back and you're involved in tech again, the tech stress is still there. You didn't do anything about getting rid of the tech stress. All you did was take a break from it. And don't get me wrong, we all need breaks. Obviously, this show being a pre-recorded show because I'm taking a break is just proof of that, right? But the truth, the cracking of that nut, is that a 30-day digital detox is a Band-Aid. It's not a cure. A digital detox is like holding your breath. Eventually, you have to breathe again. And you'll come back to the exact same chaotic inbox and the exact same Techxiety. In fact, I'm going to posit that you will come back to even more tech stress because you've taken 30 days away from it and your inbox is so full that then you're so overwhelmed you don't even know where to start because you're 30 days behind and you haven't gotten anything done and there's so much going on and you can't figure out where to go. You're going to have more tech stress, actually, unless you set some things up ahead of time. Then a 30-day detox, that could be luscious. The anxiety remission, putting anxiety in remission, is possible. I never would have thought of this until 4 years ago when I personally did it myself. Anxiety remission doesn't come from avoiding the modern world. It comes from building congruence and boundaries within it. You don't need to throw your phone in the river. You don't need to, smash your computer. You need to change how your nervous system responds to it. It comes from reprogramming here and here, so that the response to when it does ding is valid, because that once in a while that it does, those are the times it needs you. But the other times it doesn't necessarily have to ding or ring or beep or, have 16 tabs open or have your email box so full, because you've set up systems and processes to take care of some of the things automated that can be, so that it liberates yourself for what you need to do. You've set up systems, not only in the computer, but you've set up systems for yourself, habits of how do you attack this tech thing each day? How do you go through your day? How do you interface with the tech such that you can use the best use of the 30 seconds you want to spend to make it do 30 hours worth of work for you? And those things are all entirely possible. It's setting up your nervous system to be ready by setting up systems, setting up the system to be ready, and then learning how to work in flow with that. So that's the myth of the day. Digital detox doesn't work. It's a Band-Aid. You're going to come back to a gushing wound of Techxiety if all you did was take a detox. I don't care if it's a 1-day detox, a 3-day detox, a 30-day detox, doesn't matter. You're going to come back to a larger amount of Techxiety when you get back. If you deal with how your nervous system deals with it, you put systems in place both here and here, and then you learn how to do that as a habit, and you have gotten rid. Actually, let me just back up, because this year in Show Me Your Nuts, we're going through that exact process of how do you change things. That exact process of how do you change things starts with figuring out what you want to change and the desire to change. So it's awakening to it. If today you're awakening to the fact that you want to change your interaction with technology, then you're at the right place. You're in that stage. Then the second stage is foundation. And that foundation is taking responsibility for your own shit in the process. Taking responsibility for, what did I do to make this an anxious situation? What did I do to do that? Oh, well, I subscribed to 6 million emails that I don't really need. Okay, there's an easy fix for that. Unsubscribe. I'm responsible for it because I don't have a system built in to do things. Okay, that's easy. We can build systems. We can make the tech work for us. Then there's the breakthrough part. And this is where we go through and get rid of the actual anxious response. Now that's when programming here comes in. So the breakthrough part is really programming this. And then the behaviors is programming this. And then we can get to expansion where we're at today. So then if you go on a 30-day detox after you've done the breakthrough and you've reprogrammed this and you've reprogrammed this, you can take a 30-day vacation and come back and go, yep, I'm starting off where I left off. I'm good. It is absolutely possible. So let's do one more. Let's see. I'm going to tell you a story. I am going to tell you this story. Wasn't going to, but I think I'm going to tell you a squirrel story. So there was once this squirrel who came to the Squirrel Wrangler and said, I got stuff. I got problems. They were a quick, brilliant, multi-passionate leader who was constantly in a state of fight or flight because the notifications would not stop. Now, we didn't delete the apps. We didn't delete the emails. Instead, we changed her relationship with them. We updated her calmware by doing a reprogram of how she reacted. That update of her calmware was exactly how I realized that Techxiety was a thing. And when she realized that she was the master of the device, not the other way around, her anxiety spirals went and stopped. They stopped. She didn't have to react with anxiety anymore because she had things put in place ahead of time to take care of the tech interruptions. And she then felt like she was finally safe in her business to expand and get bigger because she was using those tools. Those tools were happening in the background behind her while she was out on the beach. Maybe she was on the phone with a client while she was on the beach, or maybe she was with a client on the beach, but she was on the beach. She didn't have to worry about anything else then. That squirrel is now doing more and more tech and less worry about it. So let's go on to do some nuts and bolts. Let's get down to some brass tacks, if you will, or some brass nuts. That's an interesting one. I've not thought of brass. Well, it's like brass knuckles, brass nuts, right? On here we talk about everything nuts. So let's talk about some brass nuts and bolts. A practical tool for this week so you can break free from that tech-induced stress. This practical tool, and you might kind of have heard, I've kind of been dancing around it, but let's nail it down. Let's nail the brass nuts to the wall, if you will. I call it the non-human notification purge. It's a mouthful. Non-human notification purge. Right now, right this minute, hit pause on this video because it's a pre-record. You can hit pause on this video. And I want you to go into your phone settings right this minute. As soon as I tell you what to do here, I want you to hit pause and do it, okay? Go into your phone settings and turn off every single notification in every app that is generated by a machine, not a human. You go to the apps, you go to settings. Now this is on an iPhone. I literally am going to do this with you. I'm going to walk through it right this second and tell you exactly which screens on an iPhone. I'm sorry, I don't have an Android with me. But you go to your settings. You go to general. I'm sorry. Here I am being the tech that's supposed to know things. You go to settings and then you go to notifications. And you set scheduled summary so that you have a summary of things. And on screen sharing, you turn the notifications off. You turn and then you go to each app. It says notification style, and every single app on your phone from A to Z has notification settings. And you click those on and you go to the next screen. You click on the first app that's on there. The first one I have here, let's see, is called ABC News. You click that and you go and you turn the notifications off. You go to Acrobat and you turn the notifications off. You go to Amazon, you turn the notifications off. You go to your app store and you turn the notifications off. Every single app. The only apps that are allowed notifications on my phone is my telephone, my messages, and I think my WhatsApp messages. And they're not all allowed to have sound. And from 8 p.m. at night until 8 a.m. in the morning, they're not even allowed to have sound then unless you're on the VIP list. All of that is, don't get me wrong, it takes time. And pro tip, pro brass nuts tip, put a note on your calendar to check your apps once a month, because when the apps update, they will sometimes go in and it will automatically turn the notification back on, even though you turned it off. You'll go back a month later and you'll like, damn it, I turned this off. And sure enough, it'll be on again. Go in once a month and just scroll through, because once you've done it once, you just scroll through and look, it should say off, 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 and only certain ones are in scheduled or they're turned on. Once a month, check your phone and turn all of those app update notifications, turn off the news alerts, only allow notifications from actual humans that you need. Text, specific emails, phone calls. And only allow those during certain hours. And during the times that it's turned on Do Not Disturb, only allow it from people who are on your VIP list. My mom, my husband, and my brother, and my mother-in-law can text. They can call me anytime and break through that barrier. Otherwise, if you're not on that list, if you're not those people that I just mentioned, you're not going to get me at those hours, or you're not going to wake me up. My phone's not going to ding. It's not going to bing. It's not going to cause any issues. Now, if I'm awake and I see that the phone call's coming in at 2 a.m, and there are times where I'm awake at 2 a.m, I am that squirrel, I'm going to answer the phone. So if you call me at 2 a.m. and I'm awake, yeah, I might, but the chances are pretty low. Watch how, you know what? Hit pause. I'm going to count to 10 while you hit pause, and I want you to go to your phone and do that right now. Turn all of those notifications off. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hopefully you are there. And I want you to watch over the next couple days after you've done that. Yes, will it take you an hour to go through them? If you've got a lot of apps on your phone, possibly. It's also a good way to know, hey, wait a minute, I want to get rid of this, and this app. That's also a good thing to do. Watch how quickly your Techxiety drops when your phone and your computer stop yelling at you for no reason because you've turned all of that shit off. Now, the other things that are allowed at 24/7, I forgot about this, are the weather alerts, because I live in the Midwest and tornadoes, okay? Tornadoes. So it's important to figure out what are the things that and this is a boundary issue. This is a reprogramming this. What is it you're allowing in your space and when? And then putting that in place. Take the hour to do it now, because then the times that you're spiraling because of Techxiety will be gone and you'll gain those back. It's an investment. It's a time investment. So let's now do a shiny nuts moment. I want to celebrate every one of you on here who is now choosing to stop just coping with your tech stress and actively seeking anxiety remission by turning those notifications off. Because when you choose to change your tech boundaries, you're choosing yourself. And remember this quote: what I don't change, I choose. If you're changing the notifications today, you're choosing peace. If you're not choosing to change those notifications today because you want to put it off, because you don't want to do it, because of whatever reason, you're choosing Techxiety. And you might want to go back to the shows about being responsible for your own shit, because if you're choosing the Techxiety, if you're not doing the thing, then you're choosing the Techxiety. If you're choosing to spend the hour right now to turn those off, you're choosing peace. And why not? Choose peace. Please choose peace. Or as a famous Beatle once put it, give peace a chance. Give peace a chance. Oh, I am sure that you've had a lot of squirrel just now. And I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody who watches during the episode, after the episodes, who message me in between episodes, who give me ideas about what to talk about on Show Me Your Nuts. And that is our show for the day. That's a wrap, folks. Because even though I am out and about, I am so grateful that you spent this time with me. And if you want to dive deeper into wrangling your tech or updating your comware, come hang out with me at my tech office hours or my Thursday morning coffee. You can find the link to register for any of the events at stacybraiuca.com/events. And for more resources or to catch past episodes, head over to showmeyournuts.live, and you can see the past episodes of Show Me Your Nuts. You can also find all of the cool episodes of the Breakthrough Show Network, because that's going to take you to the Breakthrough Show Network's page about Show Me Your Nuts so that you can have all of it in one place. That's just a favorite thing of me. Let's do something once and get 10 things from it, because why not? Then we have time to go out and about. I appreciate you allowing me the luxury of being able to be out and about, but still be with you this week. Please put notes in the comments. I will probably be here watching those notes. And have a beautiful, expansive week, my friends. Keep wrangling your squirrels, and I will see you next Thursday, live and in person again, for some more Show Me Your Nuts. See you then.
Thank you for joining us on this nutty adventure. Remember, personal growth and wellness are journeys best taken together. Keep exploring, keep growing, and don't forget to show me your nuts next time.